I'm gonna do. Good evening and welcome to the legendary Gold Coast Hotel and Casino and National Finals tonight. Brought to you in part by Jim Boone, Mayor's Market, Gathering Station, Tours, 14 and Vineyard, Super Tire, Grand Rodeo, Justin Boots, National Cowboy Museum, The Range 702, Golden Tiger Liniment, Wrangler, Montana Silversmith, Resist All Hats, Pepsi, and Boyd Gaming. National Finals tonight with 8-time World Champion Bull Rider Donnie Gay, 8-time World Champion Cowboy Joe Beaver, and the men and women of the NFR. Sit back, relax, and enjoy National Finals tonight. And now, here's your host, award-winning television personality, Mr. Dan Miller.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to National Finals tonight. What a good-looking crowd all the way back out to the casino. Did you go to the rodeo tonight? Outstanding, isn't it, huh? Here in beautiful, warm, sunny Las Vegas, it's just the right time of the year to be here. I'm from Wyoming. It was about 22 below there yesterday, so this feels pretty darn good. Any other Wyoming people here tonight? The folks back there with the thong and the halter top on. It's nice weather out. Yep. It's good to have you here with us. I've got one just like that. We're glad to have you here tonight to talk about rodeo, and boy, you're here on a good night. The best thing about this show, Terry Gay, Where Are You, is its spontaneity, isn't it, huh? We never know what's going to happen, and boy, tonight, I have not a clue what's going to happen. So let's get this first gentleman out here, and I use the name gentleman very lightly. He's the best bull rider ever, and I say that because he told me to say that. Would you welcome 8-time world champion bull rider, the best, Donnie Gay is here.
Oh! Viva Las Vegas.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. It's good to see you tonight, huh?
Do you have to start out with a joke?
No. I had nothing but the truth. You know me, yeah. Outstanding bull riding tonight, wasn't it? Outstanding.
It really was. I felt good. Maybe the first time I've been right in a long time.
Wow.
You know, Jeff Metters was doing the telecast, and he said, you know, what pen of bulls we have? And I said, some really good bulls. I said, would you like to see them ride 10? And he goes, really? And I said, yeah. I think they'll ride at least 10 bulls. And I got really close. So we rode 9 and a half.
And a half, yeah.
You know, Cooper Davis took his re-ride, as did Shane Proctor, and Cooper didn't make the whistle, so his 66 went by the wayside. And the real bad part about that is that's one bull back as far as the average is concerned. That could mean the difference of 30 or 40,000, but when you're only 19, who cares?
Who cares? Life is good, huh? It's good to have Donnie. We're going to bring out our co-host tonight, and we've got a guy that's pinch hitting tonight. And what a guy! Our buddy Joe Beaver is really sick, and so he is upstairs being sick, but he'll be back tomorrow night.
I called him a sissy. He's got chills, and you know.
But what a guy to fill in for him, huh? We got the 8-time world champion. We got the 8-time PRCA announcer of the year filling in. Bob Tallman is here in the house tonight.
Bad Bob in the house.
Hey.
Hi, Bobo.
Hi, Dono.
We're so glad to have you here tonight, Bob. You know, we were talking back there. Donnie and I have been doing television together for 27 years, but you two, much older than me. How long you been doing?
Oh,
37 years. Actually, the first television I did was with Bob Tallman, but we started doing a lot of stuff in 1976, 37 years ago. Yeah.
And where was that at? Where was it first? It was
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. I remember him in 1972, and both of us had the same want, just to be there. He rode a lot better than I did, so I was packing flanks, feeding livestock.
The crown of his hat was this tall. The brim was only this big.
And Donnie was that tall. I used to think I could speak French, so I called him Monsieur. He didn't know what it meant.
Hey, if you would like to be involved and participate tonight and send up some questions,
Dang
you can
it.
text questions up to us. And boy, we've had some great questions. Let me tell you how to do that. The phone number is 702-582-5638. And that number is going to be up on the screen all evening long. If you've got a question you want to send up here, please do that. Also, we want to tell you YouTube is where we are at on the YouTube channel. If you want to go, we're archiving these shows. You can go watch them. It is
You too?
YouTube. No, YouTube. I've seen. Never
Tube
mind.
you.
YouTube channel, and you go to Boyd Gaming Rodeo, Boyd Gaming Events. They will both pull up the shows. If
And you
you'd like
got to
do
scroll all the way down
Yes.
because you got 2010,
Lots of
archived
shows.
11, and
Yeah.
so here we are.
that. But you're here live, so it doesn't matter. We're just glad to have you here. We want to tell you at the end of the show tonight, we have got great prizes to give away, including this Fender guitar back here, signed by George Strait. And if you haven't entered, we've got Wrangler jeans to give away, Justin boots, wonderful prizes to
All right,
do.
question.
Yes,
Did George Strait really sign that guitar?
Absolutely,
It wasn't
he
some dude in the green room across the hall?
No. That's Donnie actually said that last guitar.
Don't
you
look at
could
me in
still
that tone
smell
of voice. There's a lot of people out there going, yeah, George Strait didn't sign that guitar.
Yes,
Donnie
he
signed
did.
that guitar. He did sign
I
that?
did not sign it. I played it.
It's all spelled right. I know Donnie didn't do it. That's George Strait right there. Let's
Ow!
Now we're all over this tube U stuff. Let's get on with this deal.
let's tube you. Let's did many of you watch it on television on the big screens tonight, and quite a few of you were there. If you didn't get the chance to see it, we put together a highlight package tonight of all the winners from the events tonight, and Donnie and Bob are going to do it live. I can hardly wait for this. They're going to do it live for you here. Let's start out, Donnie Gay, with a bareback riding. Jesse Davis, outstanding.
All right, National Finals Rodeo, greatest rodeo in the business right here. Jesse Davis got a horse called Raggedy Ann. This mare is outstanding, but Jesse Davis just let it all hang out in the bareback ride, and that's what it is. Both spurs over the shoulders, back to the rigging every jump. Look at the timing. He's going to watch the horse's front feet and Jesse's spurs. He beats her to the ground every jump. That's what the judges are looking for. You can't just ride a bucking horse. You have to ride one perfect. Jesse Davis, 86 points. First place, another 18,000 plus
That
dollars.
is boring stuff. Watch this guy. World champion Dean Gorsuch comes from Nebraska. Look at here. Rip, push it to him. I mean, tore the head out. Look at him. He's happy.
How do you do that again?
Watch, I'll show you the second time. I'm going to do it slow motion this
Bob,
time.
yeah.
Here we come.
Now, slow
watch him
motion, that's your
lean in.
deal.
Cock that. Catch your right horn here. Left horn in the feet. Right there in the hand. Watch him drop. Come around. Go the nose. Chuck the snot. Right out of him.
Oh,
3.1.
You're still up, Bob.
Team roping. I got to get on
your
the
hand
header
through so you
side.
can swing your rope.
Nick
There you go.
Sartain.
There you
Woo!
go.
Beautiful head loop. Look at that. 8X8. There's another 8X.
That's right,
World
boy, he
champion
can
Rich
rope.
Skelton. How quick were they? 4.2. Watch his headshot. Look at this, Commissioner. If you could sizzle one like that, now watch it. Look at what pink rope. Pretty. Right there. Dally right in the groin. Woo! 4.2.
Get back, Bob. Saddle bronc riding. There's only one Wright brother here that hadn't won a world title, Jake Wright. Watch this. He came down and didn't have a real great start to the NFR. Check this out. Bucking horse trying to throw him off. No way, Jose. He can ride bucking horses. Watch this. Check this horse out. Drop it in the front. Look at him ring his head. He's lifting on the rein. That's why they call it the classic event of pro rodeo right there. This kid is getting it on. 86 points. Show me the money, baby.
All right.
Tie
2
down,
nights
Robert.
ago, I said Cody Old sitting right in that chair. If he gets connected with this red mare, watch him. Watch this guy. $3 million man. No mistakes. Gather. Woo. Now slow it down. 6'9", that's an average run for him in this pen. Watch what he does when he gets on the ground. He will string and watch the sizzle. Whoop. To it. No motion. One wrap. Out of there.
And just when you're trying to give the old guy all the money in the tie down roping, check this out. Ryan Jarrett coming down. I mean, he doesn't do it quite as smooth, but he's just as fast. 6.9. How about our tie down ropers?
Hey, 2005, that's what he did, and he stole the buckle away. Ruined Trevor Brazil. 2005 made the same deal. 4 out of the 10 rounds, that's what he did to beat him, to win the all-around right there. That's cool.
How about
I'm
the
up
ladies,
again.
Donnie Gay? We
Watch
talked
this.
about this last night, Taylor.
This young lady is something. Now, last night she wins around with a 65 or 68. Watch her tonight. This is Taylor Jacobs. She's going to be 1349. This girl weighs about 109 pounds. Everything is perfect. She's a third-generation Texas ranch girl.
Joe
Look at
Beaver
that.
talked to her the other day and told her, keep that horse, ride him past the barrels, you'll win the round. She's won too. J.W. Harris, 3-time champ of the world right here. And I'm talking about whirling dervish back to the left, away from his hand. Shook him loose. His feet are bouncing a little bit. He doesn't panic, doesn't worry. His get off, it leaves a little to be desired. But who cares after 8 seconds? They're going to pay you $18,000. He's won a little over $42,000, and we're not even halfway yet. J.W. Harris, man on a mission. 3 times he's won the championship of the world. 2 times he thinks he should have. He's going to do it right now. He is making a mark and making a statement right here. 88.5 points. Good bull riding. Hats off to all the bull riders here this year.
9.5 ain't bad. Can I go to the bathroom? I hurt myself bulldogging.
I was watching from behind. I swore you did right in the middle of it. So it's either way is good on that. Give the boys a hand doing that live for you. Nice. I think we should get our first. We've got a lot of guests for you tonight. This is going to be a great night. We're glad you're here this evening. And we're going to start this off. Speaking of bull riding, Donnie, this young man, we've been trying to get him out here all week. He is the reigning world champion in bull riding. We're honored to have him.
You know where he's from?
Tell me.
Texas.
Texas, yeah. Cody Teel is here tonight. Cody, come on out here.
Koontz, Texas.
Welcome, sir. Good
Thank
to
you,
have
sir.
Sit right there next to Big Bob. There you go.
His is shinier than mine.
And he can see his when he looks down, too.
You know, that's true. I used to know what the front of mine said, but now I know who built it.
Yeah. I don't even worry about it anymore. If I want to know what buckle I'm wearing, I put them little mirrors on my shoes so I can look when I'm walking around.
You know what you got to look forward to now, Cody.
You're in a rough spot there, Cody. This is the first you've been here since you've been crowned the world champion, and let us start off by telling you congratulations. Just awesome.
Thank you very much. Yep. It's been a lot more enjoyable, I'll say that. You know, last year being the first year coming into it, I really wasn't nervous, basically because I really had no idea what to expect. But once I got out here and got the week going last year, I found out pretty quick what it was all about, being here in this arena and this atmosphere. And it's, I will say, it's not just another rodeo. You hear a lot of people say that coming here. Yeah, that's just something I feel like you try to say to fool yourself, but it's definitely not. And I'm just excited to be here again this year.
You know, the exciting thing about him, Donnie, he just joined the PRC in 2011, wins the world championship. And you and I were talking the other night, this changing of the guard, this young man can really, really ride.
Well, the number one reason, you know, everybody wears their Wranglers the same way. Some people are tall, some people are short. You know, it doesn't really matter, but this kid was raised right. His daddy rodeoed, rode bulls, Robbie Teel, you know, and I just, you know, he knew what he wanted to do. You know, he likes riding bulls, want to be a good cowboy. But what I was so impressed with last year, you know, you talk about it one bull at a time and you hear all the cliches. Those things are correct, but easy to say, hard to do. But when you kept winning and kept doing the same thing, it occurred to me that you do the same things that your daddy preached. You just make the whistle. Judges tell everybody who wins after it's over with, but you just make the whistle. And while everybody likes to say, well, you know, all he's got to do is stay on, well, try it sometime. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you very much. And that, you know, that's all you can do is stay on. With the caliber guys that are here, you can't worry about if, you know, J.W. Harris or Shane Proctor are going to buck off, because I guarantee you most of the time they're not going to buck off. So the moment you start trying to like go head to head with the individual, it doesn't work. All you can do is ride what's between your legs, and like you said, let the judges do the rest.
How has the title changed your life when you left here last year? We didn't get a chance to visit with you.
You know, I'm the same guy personally, I'd say. You know, day in and day out, I feel the same way. The only thing that I've really noticed is just getting introduced and announced differently at rodeos throughout the year. That's really the only thing that I've noticed. You know, I feel the same. It's a new year, starting over, and we're all, after December 15th, we all have a clean slate, so.
I want to have take a look at you in action because you've been riding so well this week. And let's start off, Donnie. This is from last night. Let's okay, they're queuing it up back there. They've got a lock up there. But we're going to go from round 3. First of all, Wrestlers Paradise. First of all, you can talk about the bull that you drew last night while they get it
whenever
ready.
they get it queued up and run it. Just talk yourself. Tell everybody what you're thinking, how your reactions are going through your
Let's
ride.
do this, Donnie. Let's show tonight's run first, Cody. Let's take a look at this. This is tonight on Whirlpool, 81 points. Let's go ahead and run that one, guys.
Drum roll.
Yeah, it's there you go.
Here we go.
That's the first time I seen it right here. Bull kind of hesitated coming out and then just got right into the spin like he's supposed to around the left, and then had a quick corner two and went back to the right, but kind of slowed down a tad bit. I'd been on this bull once before, last year in Waco, Texas, actually, and he stayed hooked around the left with me and ended up, I think I was like 84 on him there. But, just a good solid bull for this round, and just the main deal, I was going out there is trying to get another score, and thankfully it worked out.
Were you getting a little bit bored in the middle of the ride, wishing he had big old horns or something and wasn't just, didn't look like Vindicator's little brother and buck a little bit harder?
Right, he definitely was kind of...
You rode him so stinking easy.
It definitely, he felt good, no doubt. It's definitely good when you get a score on one you're supposed to ride, and them sometimes can be the most mentally straining ones to get on, going into it when you're supposed to ride a bull. And you got to perform, and and it worked out. And that always makes you feel good when you pull through and do what you expecting yourself to do.
The only thing I said tonight, I was bragging on your ride because even if you got a really sweet bull, good draw, you're supposed to ride him, and I know that's what you're talking about. I say he's doing everything right. He's making the whistle. The only thing I don't like, that Hannibal Lecter helmet you got.
Well,
I mean, that
there's a
thing's
reason
ugly.
behind it. I agree, it is very
It's ugly.
But I broke my jaw back in June, and I had my jaw wired shut immediately after that. And going into June's when things are starting to heat up with the rodeos, and there's a lot of big ones starting with Reno, and it's kind of a hard month. You don't really want to sit out, So I got that helmet there. I had it, and a little more protection with the jaw liner and all that, and started riding with it. I hated it at first, really, but it's just something that kind of got used to it.
That comforts me.
See, I have an excuse, so you're good. And I remember at Cheyenne at the CBR finals, I was walking out of the arena. You commented good ride, but then you said something about the helmet. I kind of gave you a look over there, like, hell, thank you, Donnie.
I think I missed that.
Let's take a look at round 3. The guys have that for you back there as well. This is on Wrestlers Paradise, 82.5 points.
I was impressed here. This is an ugly bull. You had a great chance to buck off if you'd have wanted to.
And I tell you, he felt just like he looked. He was tugging on me the whole time, kind of had me to the outside, and he almost makes you want to cross over with your free arm, as you can see, but I just kept kind of putting in front, trying to keep my shoulders square, because he was one really trying to rock me back. And I'd been on that bull once before, and his corner was similar. The first corner was the same, but after that, he was just kind of little out of rhythm, and he's getting kind of old now.
That hop and skip, that out of rhythm stuff that makes it harder, especially whenever you're sitting up there and they bounce, because on a really fast spinner, it's just reaction and you don't ever have time to kind of worry. But whenever they're kind of hopping and skipping and hanging up in spots, boy, it gets a little bit scary because you think, is he going to keep coming to the right? Because, boy, worst thing can happen. You start to move and he goes the other way.
Exactly. He's just doing enough where you can hear yourself grunt, and you're trying. You kind of really bear down. And he was trying me for sure. He liked that hesitation every time. I was feeling the pressure on my hand, and was just trying to stay square as best I could.
You did a great job. You're what are you now? 3 out of 4.
Yes.
3 out of 4. And so when Boyd gets here, now this is the end of the 4th go round. Now we can start talking about the average complications that come into it.
I have one comment on the white face bull about riding him so easy and looking so good. You're supposed to. It's a Hereford.
Exactly. when you got a Hereford, it means two things. He's a good spinner. He's going to be an arm-jerking son of a gun, you know.
Well, Shane Proctor said the worst thing about riding them muleys, you get down there in front of them, they slap you to death with their ears. He said, it'll hurt you. See, I got the advantage on you. I got to spend the afternoon with him on another show. And first thing I asked him when I walked in there, I said, are you sore anywhere? He said, no, not yet. I said, are all your body parts connected? And he kind of went like, yeah, I think so. And you got to, I look at that and I think about those kind of things, because if there's a mind psych somewhere, I try to work in their head. If they do listen, and a lot of them listen, and you work your way in there, is to reconvince them. You're sore? How many times? Stitches, bad arms, bad legs, bad neck. You try to work that guy to give him his best mental psych, to work it in there. Stay strong, stay strong. That broken arm shouldn't bother you a bit. And he's in good shape.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. When did you break your arm or you dislocate your elbow?
Both. I dislocated and just shattered my elbow pretty much. Yeah, I have 10 screws and 2 plates put in it right now. And when I was kind of moving around, I was checking the screws, and they weren't squeaking. So
you don't
we're good.
get that free pass with the TSA, so they run you through twice.
Right,
Yeah.
that was the first thing I thought of. So yeah, it's I hesitate going through them deals every time, just waiting for something to go off. But we've been lucky so far.
Okay, so you break your arm, shatter it basically, dislocate your elbow. How long were you off? And then you came back. And then how long was it before you broke your jaw? And what was it like riding with your jaw wired shut? That looked like that would drive me crazy.
Yeah, I was probably out. The minimum amount of time they suggested for my arm was 3 months, and I ended up doing 2.5 because it was feeling good. I started lifting weights, kind of got ahead on my rehab. I was confident in it, and when I was confident, I started getting on. As you know, coming back from an injury, things are slow, and it took me a little bit, and started getting some momentum going again, and there which I came back. When was it? March, April, May. Came back in the middle of May with the arm. And then May 31st is when I broke my jaw. And bull, it was a saddle line, hard to ride a bull, not worth a dang, as usual. Typically, that's how it happens. And broke my jaw, cracked me on the chin, and broke it in both joints. And I knew it was hurt and chipped some teeth. It didn't even knock me out. Got up, and it was hurting for sure. But so I decided I was in a bull riding the next day in West Texas. And quick story, but I went back home to get x-rayed on, because I thought something was wrong. And the place where I went didn't see nothing at all. So I said, well, dang, I just drove. I'm going to that bull riding night then. So I hauled butt to the bull riding that night. Ended up going there, did good, got 2 rode, ended up winning it, and then came back to the dentist Monday to get my teeth fixed. And then they saw the broken jaw and whatnot. And so then I had surgery, put a plate in my chin and all that. And then,
but when they wire it shut, and and you're eating chicken noodle soup with a straw, and strawberry shakes is about pretty much it. When the first one you get on, when he jumps out of the chute, and you're gritting your teeth, and you know that you can't open your mouth. I mean, who had the pliers in case something happened to cut the wire loose? Exactly.
The sports medicine guys, every event I went to at the wired shut, I had to give them pliers in case I got knocked out. And, so I say, here
you have
you
to
go.
think about. You got to think about these things now.
You don't swallow your tongue.
Yeah, you
or
swallow
something.
your tongue,
Yeah.
choke to death, lay out there, but somebody's got to have a set of wire cutters.
Yeah, but if they do the chicken a lot, and they live through it, it still sells tickets.
My daddy told me first year we put the roof on the arena at Mesquite, and he said, now if you can't win anything, he said, get down in underneath him and help me sell some more tickets. He loved me though.
He still does.
Tough love. I think the big change this year, you're finally 21 now, Cody, so you can actually, you're legal to get in the casinos now.
How much does that cost?
Yeah, it's been up and down. I finally got more up than down, so I quit after that. Pretty stressful.
It's a good lesson to learn. This young man, the reigning champ of the world, he's 3 out of 4 so far, and we're wishing great things for you,
I'm
Cody
telling
Teel.
you, parents,
he's a tough
if you
young
got
man.
kids, you want a role model for your kids, right there. I mean, between him and Shane Hansey, it's pretty close. But he's a bull rider.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what, Shane, he's in every event at the National Finals Rodeo. He ropes calves here. But he's in the box and the steer wrestling. Them guys are keep pushing him out of the way. The big bulldoggers, they're shoving him back. Every time you look, there's Shane in the bulldog. I look up in the bull riding, and he's pulling some guys. One of the guys' rope. Bull jumps and kicks and fixing to drill him through the slide gate. He's spotting him, And Jeff Metters, he's on the television. He going, well, he said, Shane actually knows what he's supposed to do in the bull riding. I said, yeah, the bull riders won't ask you to help them unless you know what know what you're doing.
Yeah, I've had Shane pull my rope. I think it was at San Antonio this past year. He was back there, but he pulled my rope there. So yeah, it's big help, because it can get kind of short on hands back there when everybody's getting on. So it's pretty helpful.
Y'all, how about a
Give him
round
a
of
hand.
applause for this guy? I mean,
Cody Teel.
He is a champion's champion. Cody Teel. And to come here and take time, I mean, that's big. He's dang near too nice to rodeo.
Well, you go back and think about his daddy, and the kid's raised right. He never had anything negative put out in front of him. And when he'd make a mistake, somebody'd help correct him rather than cuss him or just get back. If you can't do that right, get out of here. And kids that have the opportunity of having a dad or an uncle or an older brother that have done it, and you were surrounded by an entire family.
Yeah, but with guys like Cody Teel being the world champion, they're thinking, those bull riders, they're all right. They don't think they're little Eddie Haskell or anything anymore. So.
It's a make or break deal, and those are some of the kind of things that we talk about on this stage at times. You can be made if you've got just enough talent, and you might get a little break. But when you've got positive reinforcement every night when you go home, every morning when you get up, if you got somebody in the practice pen talking positive to you, and no matter what you get on, no matter what you rope, when you make a mistake and they go, maybe you could do it this way. And I bet his daddy said, maybe we ought to try this 1,000 times, and said it, and knowing him like you, probably said it in a manner that was so nearly sensual, like, okay. Because, I got grandkids, and boy, I'll tell you one thing, you want to defy a kid just one time, you can do it with your eyes, or you can do it with a body gesture. And you can hurt a child or hurt a young person so bad by just looking at them wrong. I've been looking at him for 37 years.
He just looked at you.
I knew it.
I have yet to defy him one time.
My daddy'd raise his eyebrows, not faint.
Let's go to this next man that's out here, and I can already anticipate the stories that are going to happen. Talk about your bull riders, and I just called this guy an hour ago. I was with him earlier today, but I called and said, could you come out and be with us here tonight? And he's here, and I'm thankful for that. 4-time world champion bull rider Tuff Hedeman is in the house tonight. Tuff, come on out here, sir.
All right.
No, I'm so glad you're here.
I suppose you had a fight with your razor. Wow.
Well, it was No Shave November, and I had a bet, and I've never had hair on my face in my life. I didn't think I could do it, but
I was shocked.
So then it came to December, so I just shaved half of it off. So I don't. It might
How
be
about
all
one
again
more
tomorrow.
round of applause for one of the greatest bull riders that we've ever been around here? This guy.
He's not only a bull, this guy in college, saddle bronc rider, team roper, steer wrestler, all that stuff, that he's done it all. And why I bring that up, Donnie, is because he's out here with these boys who have grown up now and roping
They're not
with.
little boys anymore.
No, they're not, and they're roping with their dad. When does that get started for you, Tuff?
Yeah, they have the World Series of Team Roping starting at South Point. Actually started today. They have 5 different ropings. I think they pay out a little over $7 million this week down there. So it's
dollars.
It's a big deal. Yeah. So
I'm just kidding.
And the cool thing is, I get to
rope.
rope with my son a couple times, and that's what makes it fun.
That's just very good. I want to ask you, Tuff. You just saw Cody Teel out here with us, and Tuff, of course, there would have been no PBR without Tuff Hedeman. It wouldn't have got on television without Donnie and Tuff, and now the CBR and stuff. But you see Cody Teel, you see this young group of guys coming up. There's some kids that can ride bulls.
There's always going to be guys that can ride, and Cody Teel's an example. Just when you listen to him talk, when you watch him ride, he's real humble. But I tell you what, he's a tough kid. He's got guts, and what he didn't tell you about whenever he had the broken jaw, where he went to West Texas to get on at a bull riding. Well, what that was, they've had one of our CBR events there for the last few years, and they called us and said that, in light of what happened, they had the explosion and the tragedy and the deaths of the first responders. They said they weren't going to be able to have the bull riding, and so all of my guys said, "Yeah, we'll come do it for you," and everybody kind of volunteered their time, from the announcers, the guys that brought the bulls, to have the event. Well, Cody Teel, he shows up, broken jaw and all, gets on 2 bulls, rides 2 great bulls, wins first. I don't know what it was. I think he probably won close to $5,000. He doesn't even know what he won, but he won first place. He told them just keep his check and donate it back to the city of West for the victims of that. So that's the kind of guy that Cody Teel is. He would never say that. He doesn't do that because he thinks he's going to be on TV. He's not like Donnie. He's not looking to be on TV. He's not looking for his picture in the paper or anything. He does it because he's a good guy.
I gotta lay here and take it.
Yes, you do. Bob Tallman, tell me about the first time you saw Tuff Hedeman, that group that came here in '85,
Well, it was a little before that.
Wasn't that the first year you came to the NFR, Tuff? Was it 85? 85?
Well, I made it in '84, the last year they were in Oklahoma City, and then
I remember
85.
that year.
He was the champ in '84. That's why he wants to bring it up. Imagine that. Did anybody ever hear that Donnie was a champ? Show us your buckle. Hold his belly up for a second.
Oh, we've been through this. Go get good for you. Get on it.
The coolest thing
This
about
may happen every guest.
The coolest thing about me sitting here tonight with these guys, and they're all legends of, Dan, legend of television for years and years, with, his television experience with, rodeo on television really did start on a consistent basis with Mesquite, and that was him. You got, the greatest bull rider ever. Not the best, the greatest. Eight-time world champ. And this guy here.
I never thought with him up here that I could do it twice.
And this guy here is, the greatest announcer ever. And whenever I walked out here, and I said, because when I come to the national finals now, I'm a big fan. I enjoy it. I know a lot of guys that compete, and everybody kind of looks at me like, "Who is that old guy?" But I'm the youngest guy on this stage. That is badass. I'm the youngest guy up here.
Quite a bit,
youngest guy up here, so I'm pretty excited. It's a good night.
I'm going to answer your question, okay?
Yeah.
Puberty hadn't taken over yet. I'm going to tell you about this kid raised on a racetrack. If it moved, had hair, a mane, a tail, horns, or hooves, he had been exposed to it since birth. And there was nothing ever going to stand in his way. We're at the AJRA finals in Snyder, Texas. I don't remember the year. And I watched these guys as junior rodeo kids, and one of the greatest things that happened to me was to get to go down there, and I watched all of the, now you want to talk about midgets, when them Carrillo kids showed up, because he was 1.5 feet taller than all them. But this is what happens. This is what happens because of Texas, West Texas, New Mexico combination, and moms and dads that just said, get in. And if they didn't want to get in, they throwed them in. If they didn't behave, they put them in the trunk and let them out when they got there. And no, I'm serious, people. We live in a whole different world down there than what I was raised. And I learned something about rodeo when I first went to Snyder, Texas. And I started seeing these guys show up in the 8 and under, and then in 9 to 12, and then 16 and up. They cut them no slack. It was big time rodeo and tough. when they were in junior rodeo competition. It was no different than what you watched there tonight. They were just 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, and they took the smacks, they took the hits, and it was kind of funny. I remember, a kid get dropped down. I figured everybody run to help. Get out of there. Can you move? Because we got to shut the gate. You're in the way. And that's the way he was raised. But he was different. He was different just like he was when he wins the world titles, just like he is here tonight. He's got more collection and gears running than anybody will ever give him credit for. And I lived through it with his titles. I watched him raise his kids. He's a businessman that I've invested money in, and I'm proud to say it. And pretty much wherever he wants to go, if it takes $1, I'm going to put in $2, and if it takes a little work, I'm going to help to make it work, because people like to follow him. He lives outside the box. He's talented, multi-talented in so many ways, and he's got it together between the ears.
Yes.
Oh, Bob, have you been drinking?
No, sir.
I just wonder.
It's kind of a scary deal, but
It's
but
deep.
let me give you my 2 cents worth about this guy right here. He has my utmost respect, and I think it's likewise. Not only was whenever he rodeoed, when he was riding bulls, that nobody put out any more effort on every single bull than Tuff Hedeman. And we can talk about bull riding. We had a great job. We had a great time. But the one thing, when you have kids, that changes your life. And most of you out there, you know that whether you want it to or not, it does. And knowing your 2 boys, those guys, this is a great dad, and that might be better than a great bull riding world champion. But this guy right here is a cowboy.
They got a pretty good mama too. Drove 10,000 miles a month.
Oh yeah,
get them in place.
Most of us old bull riders wouldn't have 2 nickels to rub together if we didn't marry over our heads.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you a question. After I might have asked this to you in some place. Where did the innovation come from as you started to claim titles? Who was you had to have a mentor, not for riding bulls, but a mentor that helped you select your manner of how you moved up in the world politically, how you moved up in the world financially. When you started making major business decisions, they weren't easy ones, because he went from like the $10,000 deal to the $100,000 deal, and then one day he and a couple of his buddies put together a multi-million-dollar deal. Who was your mentor? Did you have one, or do you remember?
It's just dumb luck. I really do. What we wanted to do when we were riding, we'd all ridden long enough that, simply put, we wanted things to be better. We wanted to get on better bulls. We wanted to win more money. And, and we were very fortunate that we had a lot of people that wanted to help us, when we started the standalone bull ridings. And I don't know, a lot of people thought we were anti-rodeo when we weren't. We were pro bull riding. We just, if you ride bulls, you see some of these, how old is Cody Teel? He's still roping calves at the highest level. But you don't get to do that when you ride bulls. When you ride bulls, you get to, it's a shorter window. Your career is shorter. You have so long to do it. All our goal was to try to create something that the guys that could ride at the highest level could benefit, to where whenever they retired, that didn't mean they was going to Joe Blow's truck driving school. They could make enough income, and we just wanted to try to create more income opportunities, and in doing so, we did that.
Biggest claim to fame is because you had the idea, and all good ideas don't work. They have to be worked, and there has to be a leader, and that's what Tuff Hedeman is. He's a leader, and whenever he speaks, whether you agree with it or not, it's what he believes. And I think you've you've done more for the sport of rodeo, the Western industry, than any one single individual, because there would not be a PBR or all of the talk about bull riding. I think you raised the level of interest in the rodeo world, and I call rodeo anything that you can wear blue jeans, boots, and a hat to. That's rodeo as far as I'm concerned. But this guy's done a great job. And he started out, you know, he worked his butt off for his daddy, and he's dragging a bronc saddle and bull rope around. And there's not a scheduled vacations in a 401k. You got to dig it out of the dirt, and he's done that as well as anybody I've ever seen.
Don, you got to think about it. When they created after rodeo to bull riders only to the PBR, it tripled the fan base. It tripled the amount of people that went to a Western store to put on boots, put on hats, wear Western clothes, tripled the fan base. The television was so addicting that it tripled it in around the world. People that couldn't say anything but, oh, Bucky, 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 look a cowboy. By golly, I'll tell you what, they got on airplanes and they come to watch this man ride, and then they watch to see how the deal works.
That may not have been politically correct, but who cares? It's, you know, I thought it was Saturday, Sunday. That's
it's
okay.
all right. Now, so he gets done with that, so then he creates another organization, association, and is going on with it, and still while in operation of that, of going with his kids.
Did I say he was hard-headed, or did I left that out? So,
oh, no. Well, so's his brother, but I mean, it's a good hard-headed, because he don't know quit. Should have been dead 4 or 5 times. Don't know quit.
What I wanted to ask you, Tuff, but to kind of bring that full circle, you and I talked about it a little bit today. Is bull riding now where you always? Is it where you thought it was going to be? Is it still have places to go from your?
The one thing about bull riding, you know, again, growing up in rodeo, I rode calves, I still team rope, I rode broncs. You know, I like all the events. The unique thing about bull riding is it has an appeal to somebody other than, you know, the cowboy, the Western, you know, lifestyle kind of guy. You know, whenever we started putting on the standalone events and we put them on television, you know, people started following it that they wouldn't come to rodeo. No disrespect, but they didn't care nothing about watching a calf roping. They didn't care anything about the bareback riding. But bull riding's a unique event. It's very simple. It's man versus beast. It's nonstop action. It's crazy as hell. It makes no sense.
It's kind of like NASCAR.
But it has marketability that the other events don't have. And I do think that, you know, back when we first started, everybody thought we were just anti-rodeo, and we just weren't. You know, we just wanted more opportunities. And I think we created some rodeo fans, you know, through the bull riding, that they say, hey, the rest of this stuff is cool too. But what drew them to it was coming to an event and seeing good stuff, seeing good guys on great bulls, seeing high scores. And you know, the one thing that we always prided ourselves on, and that's the one thing we still try to do today, is, you know, if you buy a ticket, and doesn't matter whether you're like a knowledgeable fan that you know exactly, you know, why a guy is 85 and why he got disqualified, or this your first time, you come and you can enjoy a 2-hour experience where this is fun, this is cool stuff. These guys are good guys, and this is, you know, as long as you give them good stuff, then they want to come back next year. You know, you can only sell them a pile of junk once.
Plus the fact
you just have to do good entertaining events. And
they don't want to see anybody get hurt, but if they do, they don't want to miss it.
If they do, they want it to be you.
Well, you know, I just kept them waiting.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to move on here, but I just want to say this to you, Tuff. One of the things that I've liked, even though you started the organization, and when you start something successful, there's people that want to come in and get a piece of it. They usually end up screwing it up. And I've always respected the fact that you've just kept, if it didn't work, if it got away, it wasn't what you wanted, you walked away and did something else. And to me, and I've known Tuff a long time, you've always been the same guy.
At the end of the day, right now, if you ride bulls and you ride well, there's more opportunity now than there's ever been. And it doesn't matter what the initials are on the organization or the event. If you can ride, you can go make a lot of money, and that's pretty cool. Anytime that you can turn a passion, a dream, a sport into a career, and that's, you don't have to get a real job, which I still don't got a real job. I'm going to get paid. I get paid to wear Lucchese boots. I get paid to wear cinch jeans. I get paid to wear Panhandle Slim shirts. I get paid to wear Resist All hats, and it's all because of bull riding, and it's all because the people that will come to an event and spend their money and watch it on television, and then hopefully make sure it's a Panhandle Slim Tuff Hedeman shirt. Thank you very much.
Give this man a hand, will you? Tuff Hedeman, 4-time champ of the world.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
Rolling down a long highway out to New Mexico.
How about, are you enjoying it so far this evening? Yes. And we're not done yet. We're going to move on here and kind of build on what we've started there. And I'm going to get me a coat like Tuff's. That's a pretty fancy
Ain't that
deal,
cool?
isn't it?
You want me to bulldog in?
I was trying to get it, but he said the sleeves were too long.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know, some guys can just wear a garbage sack and look good. And I've seen him so beat up, so hurt, so bad. And, I mean, drug through a knot hole.
Hey, buddy.
And
I was there. I walked back behind the chutes whenever he got up after Bodacious crushed his face. And I'm talking about it was difficult to look at. And I swear, this is the truth. He's walking there, 409 guys around him, and he's walking out, and blood's going everywhere. And I looked at him, and I was really scared when it happened. But then when he came out and I saw him walking out, then, I knew it was going to be a while before he got well. But, buddy, it looked bad. And he looked at me and he goes, "How's it look?" And I said, "Well, the good news is you weren't very pretty in the first place." I mean, and it's funny now, but back then I didn't really know what else to say because everybody else was just white as a sheet, and but I'll tell you what, with the help that he got from people here in Las Vegas and stuff, surgeries all went well, and I was right here, and was back at the National Finals Rodeo the same stinking year. I mean, the guy
as
is
a kid,
he's tougher than anybody you want to match up against.
I watched him as a kid. He has a manner to him, a character how he carries himself. And if he'd win, he'd just kind of like this and do it. And you'd think he was mad at himself, like Joe B. when Big Joe gets mad, And he'd fall off one, pick his rope up, and he'd just kind of roll like that and everything else. He's hot or cold. He's the same way all the time.
Okay, but I bragged on him enough. The other thing is the first time I saw him, he came to a riding school, and he's riding broncs and bulls. And, I mean, just kid, you could tell that he was going to succeed. But his glasses that he wore back then, they looked like they were so thick, it reminded me of those funhouse mirrors. That you got.
Tuff, you want me to kick him? He's still here.
I swear they were this thick. This kid's got neck muscle.
Well,
holding him
things
up.
have changed. Technology's changed in the last 30 years. Look at.
Yeah, $600.
I remember
$600. Yeah.
when you didn't wear
Somebody
glasses.
said, "You got bifocals?" No, nope, trifocals.
Let's move along here and bring out this next gentleman. I'm so pleased that he came here today. He's probably the busiest guy in town, and everybody wants to ask him questions, and we're honored to have him here tonight. Let's ask some questions of the commissioner of the PRCA. Carl Stressman is in the house tonight. Carl.
The boss man.
Welcome, sir. It's good to have you here.
Yes, sir.
Quite a bunch out here tonight, isn't it, Carl?
You know what? Yeah, it's a little hard act to follow.
No, it's great to have them here together, and I just think it speaks well from the whole sport of rodeo to see those guys together. It does.
You know what? I want to say one thing about Tuff Hedeman. Although Tuff and I haven't agreed on everything over the years, I'm going to tell you something. That guy stood and signed autographs longer than anybody I've ever known. He absolutely would never turn anybody down. He really was a great promoter of the sport of pro rodeo. Unfortunately, people brand him with the bull riding deal. I know differently. And he stood there and signed and signed and signed and never turned anybody away. He was really, really, and still is good for pro rodeo.
No question about it. Carl, before we get started here, our buddy Boyd Polhamus has just showed up in the back too. And so Boyd, why don't you come out here and let's all just visit a little bit here. Boyd, busy night tonight, but he wanted to come and share time with us. And Carl, you've got a big group over here. Your wife Callie's over there, I'm assuming. Is she over there somewhere? Wave to us,
Who all you
Callie.
got over there?
Yeah,
There's
give her a hand. Yes.
Hi, Boyd.
Hello, Boyd. Now, when we started this, deal tonight, I went over and talked to Carl and said, Carl, there's just so much we want to know about, and anything that we can. He said, you ask anything you want to ask, and let's just. So there's so much talking. I will tell you, the first thing is that the four of us know nothing as far as the right answers. So that's why we want to start off first. I'd like to.
We fake it good, though.
Oh boy, I can lie with the best stuff. I wanted to, from the media standpoint, Carl, television, do we know what's going to happen next year at this point or not?
We probably know, we know a few things about what's going to happen. But the problem with being on here tonight is that Tuesday there's a press conference at 3
That's right.
o'clock that I have every year, the commissioner's press conference, and we will do some announcements as far as what TV looks like for 2014. So I hate to
I
hate to
understand
take
that.
it away from the media because they do, they travel out here.
That's why
We've
they're
got the
here.
Western media involved at that point in time. So we'll make some announcements. I think there'll be some surprises.
Okay, and the other thing that we're trying to address, and we kind of talked about it the other night, and we're glad you're here, because the first thing, last night when I left, there was a lady that came up to me from Texas. She said, I have never missed a performance of the National Finals Rodeo for 30 years. I've had these tickets for 30 years. She said, please tell me they're not going to leave Las Vegas. Please tell me that these tickets are going to. So I said, I don't know. And maybe that's something you can't answer again.
I said, well, I know you're coming one more time.
Yeah.
Well, we're contracted through 14, as you all know. So obviously, the National Finals Rodeo will be here in 2014. The best I can tell you is nobody in the PRCA or anybody else wants to leave Las Vegas. Let's put it that way. But the facts are.
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And folks, this is totally unscripted, and I have got to tell you that you have to have a lot of respect because there's no holds barred. We can say anything out here on this stage that we want to say, and Carl just said, hey, is it my spot to come on the show? I have a lot of respect for this guy, but there are some things that you can share with us, and some things you can't, and and everybody out here knows that. So,
But all
I'm
I can
just
tell
glad
you
you're
is
here.
negotiate. Yeah, go ahead.
I want you to listen to what he said. Nobody at the PRCA wants to leave Las Vegas, okay? They realize how good we've been to us, that y'all have been to us, okay? We talked about this 2 nights ago. Is there a better bidder, another bidder on the horse, okay? And if there's another bidder on the horse, if you were in the horse business, you would have to entertain that other bidder. Are there other bidders on the horse?
Well, to answer your question, I don't even have a vote on the board, as you all know. You guys know this, and if the audience doesn't know this, I don't have a vote. I'm a hired gun when it comes to the PRCA, as you guys well know. But I do believe it's my job, hired by the PRCA, to do what I do to make sure that I bring the best opportunities to the PRCA and their contestants. If I don't do that, then I shouldn't be in the position that I'm in. Somebody else should be doing what I'm doing. So you have to say, there's no personal issues here, and that's what you have to separate. And when you get in negotiations, as probably you all well know because you've been in them before, you know what? There are people that say, hey, we'd like to see this someplace else. You know what? Then I have to at least advise the board of directors as the CEO of the PRCA to give the recommendations to say, here's what you have to look at. There's a 9-man board of directors out there who is going to make a decision at some point in time as to where the future of the Wrangler National Finals is. So my job is to say, guys, look at this, look at this, look at this, and then it's up to them to decide what is best for the PRCA.
Can I tell you what he's told me a dozen times in phone conversations? He'll say, Boyd, as Carl Stressman, the human, I agree with you. Okay? As Carl Stressman, the leader of the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, I have a job to do. Okay? And it'd be kind of like being a Dallas Cowboy fan and having to coach the Green Bay Packers. Okay? You might really be a Cowboy fan and you want the Cowboys to win, but your job as coach of the Green Bay Packers is to figure out a way to beat the Cowboys. Okay? And that's the best analogy I can give for it. You can be conflicted sometimes because, as he pointed out, he's a hired gun, right? And his job is to represent the interests of the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. Sometimes he may disagree with what the board tells him. I want you to go make this dog hunt. And it doesn't matter whether he agrees, disagrees, or not. His job is to go make that dog hunt. And I can't tell you how many times he's called me stupid and dumb, and I've called him stupid and dumb. We love each other. We've been friends for a long, long, long time, way back to when he was with VF and Wrangler. And there's times I'm like, Carl, we got to do this. And he's like, yeah, I think that might be a good idea, but the guys that I work for don't want to do this. So therefore, if they have chosen not to do this and they want to go this path, then it is my job as the leader of this association to go this way. And I counseled him please don't take the job, please don't take the job, please don't take the job, because I loved him at Wrangler. That's true. I loved him at Wrangler. But at the time, if you'll remember, when Carl took the job, this sport was really at a crossroads. The membership was at a crossroads. There was a lot of turmoil and things going on, and there was one guy that could kind of rally the troops together, and there was only one guy everybody wanted for that job, and it was Carl. And he left a sweet gig, you know, he did.
I've told this story before, but you know what? I used to fly around in private jets. When I was with VF Corporation, which obviously is the owner of the Wrangler Corporation, I used to fly around in private jets. I just called the airport and tell them to get the jet ready. I need to go somewhere. Now I'm sitting in the last row in a middle seat but on Southwest Airlines now. So that's where my career has gone. It's gone from here to here.
The positive thing. Go ahead.
The thing that is always, there always is a lot of emotion and everything, but there's not anybody in the room that if you got a horse to sell and he's worth this much money and somebody runs up to you and says, hey, I really'd like to have that horse and I'll pay you for him. And the question that anybody in the room is going to ask is how much?
And there's another one. Is the check good? Because you can tell me as a cowboy, and listen, he's got to listen to the membership, okay? And they go, I don't care if it's in Bohemia. If they're going to pay me $40,000 to win a round, and we're paying $20 to win a round here, I'll go to Bohemia, okay? But so you have to consider that. But you also have to go, okay, is the check good? Because I'd rather have the guy give me $25,000 for the horse than a $50,000 check that's not any good.
Well, that's true, and everybody that's riding. Tuff talked about the small window for bull riders, length of time wise that you have to be able to drag off the table what you can get before you're through, and the thing is okay. Everybody wants to ride at $30,000 go rounds or $50,000 go rounds, but I don't want to do that for 2 or 3 years and then all of that money suddenly dry up and I'm back riding for $429 go rounds, which is where I started from. And I've been in the PRCA, I think, longer than any of y'all up here at the table.
Look at your age. I mean, that's almost a given.
Yeah. Well, I started when I was 5 years old when Daddy and Jim Shoulder started the Mesquite Rodeo. So rodeo is my entire life. It's not my job. It's not my vocation. It's my life. I don't consider rodeo a sport. I consider rodeo a lifestyle. I never have to take off my uniform, and I don't. And I just want to know that I was there. I got my butt whipped at the 1959 National Finals Rodeo because my daddy found me up in the spotlight booth instead of in the box that I was supposed to sat in. Well, they've come a long way, baby. And I don't want to see the business, even though I'm almost on the outside of it as far as in arena competition. I don't want to see them screw that up for someone else's 5-year-old that gets to thinking that he wants to be the world champion bull rider in the PRCA, and I just want to make certain that we're covering all the bases.
But
Comfort me, would you?
I will. There is a value to the Wrangler National Finals, and I think that value, the established value, is our job at the PRCA. This administration's job at the PRCA to establish a value that product has. And has it been established? I can't guarantee. I'm not going to comfort you because I can't guarantee that deal. But what I can guarantee you is that we are doing everything we can to do the due diligence to make sure that we are getting the value for these kids that are out there risking their lives and their careers. We're the toughest sport in the world, so we deserve to be rewarded for that product. And it's not the same as it was when you were there. It's a different world. But there are people, as we begin to investigate what's happening in the world, there are people that are saying, "Hey, we think this is a pretty cool product." So we have to listen to what's out there and what's being bid. It's just like the horse deal. If you're going to bid on a horse and the guy trumps you at the auction, guess what? He owns the horse. We have to at least establish that value and then listen to what's going on in the marketplace. Bring the due diligence to the board of directors of the PRCA so that they can make an intelligent decision on what the future of pro rodeo looks like. That's as simple as it is.
Can I ask you a question? I think one of the things that would make it easier for Las Vegas to up their bid or for their horse is if some way or another the gaming element that this city is built on. I mean, look, I've heard the analogy, well, 2 boxers come into this town and they'll take out $15 million in one night. Well, yeah, part of that's pay-per-view. The other part of it is people are laying their money down on whether Billy or Bobby's going to win the fight. And I think if you could figure out a way to play to some of the things that this city is built on, i.e. the gaming aspects of it, then there's more of an opportunity for the casinos and the properties to benefit and profit. And I think they've shown us over 28 years they're more than willing to kick some of that profit back into making our go-arounds pay more, our average pay more. So has there ever been any discussion about trying to getting with the sports book people out here and designing a system to where they could set odds on, okay, J.W. Harris tonight has got the bull he's got, over and under is 85, or the odds of him covering this bull are 4-1, or that kind of thing. Because I think that also would serve an element of drawing people who are gamers, who follow football for the gaming aspect of it, or baseball or basketball or those others, into our game too.
The Wrangler Pro officials, the ranks would be thinning out quickly.
But look, the guys that referee NFL games are part-time referees. We have full-time officials. The NFL doesn't even have full-time officials. That's one of the things they're pushing for. Okay, and those guys cannot be compromised. If they're compromised, they lose their jobs. But somewhere along the line, I have all the faith in the world. Clint Corey's done a masterful job, and before him, Tommy Keith. I have all the confidence in the world in the integrity of our officiating system. I do. And for half of our events, that clock doesn't give a damn who wins. Doesn't care what your name is. So, anyway, I'm sorry. No. But
I really was trying to wait. I did have a question. New facility. We don't have any more tickets to sell, although I still don't understand how those scalpers have tickets. But I mean, the ticket deal out here make a guy contemplate slashing his wrist. Is there real negotiation? I mean, real talk. I mean, is there a new building that is more than just hot air, or because we need at least 25,000 seats.
That's
That'd
a venue
be a
that we
perfect
should
size
have.
building.
That's a perfect building because there's a number of people already on a waiting list, as you can well imagine. When you can't get tickets for this event, and that's what people really want to do, is go someplace where they can go see it live. And so in the process, when we moved here in '85. The plan was to build a new building. We're still at 17,600 people. As a matter of fact, with the renovations of Thomas and
in
Mecca,
'85, it was big enough.
Well, that's exactly right. But there's a waiting list right now of ticket buyers that would buy the deal. The average ticket price at the Thomas and Mack Center is $71. $71 to see the very best people in the world seems like not enough to me when you compare it to everything else in the world. So when you take $71 times 17,000 seats, and as a matter of fact, we've decreased the seats at Thomas and Mack over the last year, or going to, because it wasn't in compliance. So they're going to take another 400 seats away from us. Now we're at 17.2, is my understanding. Now we're going backward in creating the opportunity for our fans to come see the very best rodeo in the world. I think we need to consider what we're going to do in the future as far as a new building. We're a 25,000 seat venue. That is a perfect seating. So you can do the math yourselves. Take the average cost of the tickets and increase it by 7,000 or 8,000. That covers an awful lot over 10 nights times whatever. You get a big. That's a big number.
And people say, well, what about AT&T Stadium in Dallas? Well, let me tell you something. 17,600 people in AT&T Stadium doesn't look like a big enough to start a cuss fight.
Well, you're gonna put 25,000 people in a 90 seat venue. We look like nobody wants to come to the rodeo. You go to Thomas and Mack tonight. Any of you that been to Thomas and Mack, there's not an empty seat in the whole facility.
And I've been to the rodeo in Edmonton. They used to call it the Super Rodeo back in the day, and it's a cold son of a gun. You can't believe how cold it's there. But
pretty cold night.
That building, I'm talking about, man, in the late 70s, 22,000 seats. Every seat was full, and it was the most electric event you could ever go to, with the exception of the NFR. And so I'm thinking, in the college out here, kids that are actually trying to get an education where maybe they don't have to ride bulls for a living, to get smarter, don't you know they hate our guts? Because for about a month,
we ruin their lives.
For about a month, they can't hardly get in there to take a math test.
Bob, go ahead and say your thing here, Bob, and then we'll wrap this up.
Everybody keeps talking about bigger building, more money, all of these great things. One of the things, and you've used the word consider about 4 times tonight. It's not normal for me to sit here, but I have a deep respect for Boyd's thought and theory, and we have spent thousands of hours, and we've spent hundreds of hours visiting with you. And those conversations, sometimes the other day in the pasture was an hour and a half. And you know what? It's trying to take the stink off of it, trying to take the hurt out of it. Here's something that nobody seems to consider: the infrastructure. Okay? It's taken 30 years to build the infrastructure here that works. And it's more money for the bucking horse riders, more money for the bull riders. It's an infrastructure at the moment that's just bulging, because I want you to think about, how do you service 25,000, 18,000, or 10,000 people? Think about how you service them. How do you get them into your community? Okay? If we'd have been in Dallas, Texas this week, we've been shut down at the DFW airport for 4 days. Okay? How many millions and millions and millions of people's lives changed because it didn't happen? I was in Oklahoma City in the ice storms, and you remember, it just devastated that city. And if you were there, you could get in. If you could get there, and it was tough.
And you couldn't get out.
No, you couldn't get out. Okay? Now I want to talk to you about room nights, room availability. I want to talk to you about bus transportation. I want to talk to you about cab transportation. I want to talk to you about restaurants. I want to talk to you about all of the things that each one of you just take for granted if you've just started coming here 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, or this year. You look at the opportunities you're going to go to all of the trade shows to service all of that stuff. There is an infrastructure in place. That can be changed. It can be upgraded. But there are millions of dollars and tens of thousands of work hours that go along with producing the Wrangler National Finals that has nothing to do with a Cody Teel, a Tuff Hedeman, a Cody Old tonight at 6.9. There is so much more to this sport that happens here, to the lifestyle that we are so accustomed to. And when you go to changing things, okay, a bigger boat does not give you more fish to catch. And going in the ocean Because there's more fish in bigger water does not mean you're going to have a better catch out of the deal. So there's so much more than just money for the Cowboys.
And I'm looking at your clock, and I know you're up against it, but I just want to add one other thing. And Carl and I have had this conversation. What the PRCA has, the most valuable entity the PRCA has that keeps us all together, I don't care if you're a fan in Idaho or Refugio, Texas, is this event, okay? This is the one place where all of us all come together, whether it's in Las Vegas or Los Angeles in the 60s and Dallas in 59 or Oklahoma City in the 70s. It's what we have. This is the one thing, this is our bargaining chip basically, but it's also the one thing that holds the whole association together as a whole, which is why it's the talk of the community. It's why everybody's nervous. It's why there's arguments about whether we should move or not, whether the money's big or the boat's bigger. And it's scary stuff. It's scary stuff. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want the headache. I wouldn't take it on, which was the whole reason he told me for taking the job. Who else is going to take it?
We know what he gets paid.
Change is
Boyd.
always scary. I mean, my dad liked to have a stroke when he saw the Beatles on TV. You know.
So did
Now
Ed
you
Sullivan.
look like one.
Yeah.
So did Ed Sullivan.
Let's wrap this up, Bob. I just want to say that just the fact, Carl, that other people are looking at this horse is in part credit to what the job that you have done. And so I all of this talk about I'm just, I've known you for a long time since you were with Wrangler, and nobody shot straighter with me ever than when it came to business than you. But you're a part that's made this package, and so I think you deserve credit for that. The decisions that are coming up, people are going to work through that.
Yeah, because you don't make the decision. He don't even have a vote.
No, but I'm proud of the job you've done, and we'll see where it goes. So you have the last
Do
word.
we have more than one bidder on the horse? I really want to answer that question. How many bidders do we have on this horse? You don't have to tell me who it is, where they're at, but I want to know who else wants us. Not how many other people want us.
Well, yes.
Okay.
The answer is yes. The answer to your question, when you asked the direct question, was yes. The answer is yes. There are other bidders on the National Finals Rodeo, and believe me when I tell you, I feel an absolute obligation to the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association and those kids, and they're all kids to me because I'm older than, well, not you, but the rest of you. Because, you've all met my grandfather, haven't you? But I feel, and you can ask Allie, because she has to deal with me every morning when I get up and pull these Wrangler jeans on and say, man, I got to do what's best for the PRCA. That's my goal. That's what they hired me to do. I'm as transparent as anybody in the world. I'm not going to lie to anybody. I never have, and I'm never going to. I may not tell you everything that you need to know because I can't. There's some confidentiality agreements that are in place right now, but I'm going to tell you that this product has a value, and we have to establish the value, and then we will make the recommendation as the CEO of the PRCA to a 9-man board of directors to determine what the future of the PRCA looks like. It is strictly business. It doesn't get to be emotional, in my opinion. It is strictly business, and we will do what's best for the PRCA. Period.
Well said.
Hang a round of
Well
applause.
said.
A lot of guys would have said I'm too damn busy during the National Finals Rodeo to come out here and sit here amongst us, I promise you.
John Davis, Aaron Engler sitting over here tonight. There is a staff of people that, and I know what he gets paid. People have come, Boyd, now why don't you guys know so much about this big shooting mouth off guys? I ain't going to take a cut and pay, and I ain't going to take it because he used to have cheeks on his butt. He has had so many ass eatings, there ain't room for handles for the next guy to get in line to bite his butt anymore. And all of those people have families, they have lives. So throw another third, fourth faction into the thing. This involves thousands of people, and they don't ride bucking horses or rope calves. There's thousands of people involved in this thing. And if you really want to look at it, it's kind of cool to know that we have something that the world might want somewhere else.
We've been the best kept secret for a long time. We need to tell the world.
Yep, we appreciate it. Give all these guys a hand. Allie, thank you for coming. We're going to give away some prizes right now. So, gentlemen, let's get to doing that. And Here's the rules for the prizes that we have for you. We got great prizes to give away for you. You can only win one prize per person. A lot of you have entered several times. One prize per person. And we're going to go quickly through these. If we call your name, and if you're not here 2 or 3 times, we'll draw another name. So we're going to get started with that. The folks over here from the Rodeo Historical Society are with us over there, ladies, and they have a gift bag that we're going to start off with. I'll hold that up. Bob, if you can call some names, let's do it, Donnie.
All right. Diane Fish is here tonight. She lives on 34th Avenue E, Tacoma, Washington. Diane Fish.
Are you here, Diane? Going once?
Going twice?
Going twice?
Diane, are you here? Okay.
Nope.
Fishing license just
Now that
expired.
Bob gave out your home address and all, are you? No. Let's go to another one,
Well,
Bob.
maybe. Okay, Ernest Engelking.
Ernest Engelking.
Ernest,
right back
here
there.
he comes.
Coming back there.
All right, Rodeo Historical Society. They've been a sponsor of ours, and I
Boot Barn
appreciate them
gift
a lot.
cards coming up. He's coming right back there. The Boot Barn, I'll take one from you, Jackie.
It's Don Begay. Don Begay.
What?
Don.
Says
D-A-W-N. It's like soap. It's a girl. It's not like Don. Dawn.
Dawn.
Not Downy.
He's really from Winnemucca. Tells everybody he's from Texas. He's from Nevada.
She coming over
And
here?
He got that
There's
funny
Dawn right
accent.
there.
Here she comes.
We've got another one for you, another gift card right behind you there, Jackie. This is from the Boot Barn. Donnie, let's find another one here. Thank you, Dawn.
All right, Larry
Hone. From
Hone,
Corvallis.
Corvallis, Montana.
Are you here? Right there he is. Right
Larry,
there.
come on up here,
Absolutely
buddy.
right. Perfect.
Utah time, Paul Gines.
We have, what's that for, Bob? This is for the Wrangler gift card. Go ahead, Bob.
Paul Gines, Ramus, Utah.
Paul, are you here?
Come on up here,
Yep,
cowboy.
coming right back here. Let me hand this over here. We've got another Wrangler gift card. Let's read it out there, Donnie.
All right, Betty Ludeman, Granite Bay, California. There she is right there.
Perfect.
Come on up, Betty.
Perfect. I'm going to give both cards here. There you go, if you can take those out there. What do we have next? One more card there, Boyd. Let's give away another Wrangler gift
All
card.
right, I'd like to, let me introduce, hey, Tim, turn around, tip your hat. Tim Lanier, Boyd Gaming employee, but he is the building manager for a great arena in Kansas. I'm telling you, Kansas Star Casino. And what's the name of that little town?
Kale Pepper is one of the Wrangler gift cards.
Kale, are you
Mulvane,
out there?
Kansas. It's about 9 miles south of
Right back
Wichita.
here, I believe. Perfect,
Great
Boyd.
facility.
All right. There's somebody here from Illinois tonight. Illinois City, Illinois.
Justin
Tyrell
Boots.
Reichert.
Right there. Justin Boots, the Bent Rail Collection.
All
Right there,
right.
Tim. Thank you.
You need to work on your penmanship, young man.
These are
Did you
Justin
see how
Boots.
big he was, Bob?
I don't care. I'll whip that bulldogger tonight. I ain't afraid of him.
Justin Boots here, Donnie.
All right, Cindy Donahue, Cathedral City, California.
Are you here, Cindy?
Cindy?
Yeah, coming right back there. There you go, Tim. She's coming right through the middle there.
The
this
range.
is range 702. This you can go out to the range and shoot a 50 caliber machine gun.
I mean,
Very cool.
Katie Kaufman's doing the television. She's about this tall. She shot this thing, about blowed her off the range. This shell, the 50 caliber shell, is bigger than her hand, and it had already been shot. I couldn't believe it.
This is going to Gary Hall,
Lebanon, Oregon.
Gary, are
Gary,
you here?
All right. And
Is it?
they've
Yep, right
even
over
got
there.
that,
Perfect,
that
Tim.
Desert Eagle gun. Yeah.
This is for a Resistol gift certificate. Donnie, pull one out of there if you would, please.
7. Don't be listening to off mic stuff. Just go ahead with your deal.
Sandy Foster. Another Oregon gal.
Right
Here
over
she
here
comes
from
right
Oregon.
there.
Resistol.
Got you a new hat, Mama, coming your way.
Best hats in America.
Best all around.
My
We've
buddy
got some
Ricky
beautiful-
Bolin. Yeah, he's Mr. Resistol.
Donnie, we've got some beautiful earrings here from Montana
I don't want
Silversmiths. Well, you've already got a pair just like them. Bob, if you'll read this.
Ever since he went back to wearing men's clothes, got all his old friends back, he ain't going for it no more.
Should have been here
who's
I
last
just
year.
love all my friends.
Should have
Bob's
been here
got the
last year
winner
when he
here,
broke
Donnie.
his water. He did. He broke his water on this stage. It was like history. A gay man broke water on stage.
Oh, my God. It was a gay beaver show then, wasn't it? I think that was the deal.
Let's go to Sarah Bixler, shall we, Sarah?
I hate it when it goes overtime.
Where are you, Sarah? right here. Beautiful Montana Silversmith earrings are for you. We've got a vest over here. Boyd, hold that up.
And this
You will?
vest is going to a great place. Innisfail, Alberta, Canada, home of Ivan Danes. Elva McAllister, are you here, Elva?
Yes,
Here
coming
she
right
comes.
over
All
here.
right.
Perfect.
All right, it must be Canada night. I got one right behind you. Go from Jack
Next thing
Danes.
that we have done.
That'll be for the best luggage. I mean, Boyd Gaming has gone all out. 3 wheels.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Bob, lay it on me.
Okay. I love to watch Canadians get these kind of bags because they take them to Cowboy Christmas, go shopping, fill them up, get them a GST sticker, and away
That
they
is
go.
a great luggage bag.
Randy Pearson, Wardlow, Alberta. Remember Brad Pearson, Wardlow, Alberta? Bareback
See
rider.
here?
Randy, you here?
Yep, right back there. Absolutely.
Come on, welcome to my country. I hope you enjoy your stay. Don't be so slow. You should be thought out by now.
Now we're going to give away the Fender guitar signed by George Strait. Bring that bad boy down here, boy. That's a Donnie. Who's the winner?
All right. Well, we got it going to California. Jason Custer. Jason.
Right there.
There he is, right there.
Right there.
It's a great guitar. Fender guitar signed by George Strait. Ladies and gentlemen, I certainly appreciate y'all coming, and what I really appreciate, our guys that came up, Tuff Hedeman, Cody Teel,
Awesome.
Commissioner Carl Stressman. You know, they took out their time to come and see us and share with y'all. It was a fun night. I enjoyed it.
And the night's not over. We hope you go upstairs and go to Gary LeFew's Buck and Ball, which is happening
Get
right
wild.
upstairs. And get wild. Thank you for coming out tonight, folks. We appreciate it. Good night from the Gold Coast.